This afternoon, we'll be tracking two big stories. The verdict at the International Court of Justice expected at about 3:30 p.m. this afternoon. And before that, an India Today expose that's setting the news agenda and is being discussed all across the country, because for the first time, the villains of the valley have been exposed in a manner that they've got absolutely nothing left to say. Over the past 48 hours, we've relentlessly brought you the Hurriyat truth tapes, laying bare the real face of the Hurriyat conference. Leaders caught on camera admitting that they've been burning schools, taking money from Pakistan, and that all the mayhem in Kashmir happens at their behest. In a moment from now, I'll be joined by leaders cutting across the political spectrum. I'll be joined by officials who've looked very closely at the situation in Jammu and Kashmir and in Pakistan. Before that, I bring you excerpts from an interview I did this morning with General V K Singh, one of the fiercest critics of the Hurriyat conference, former chief and a minister in the Modi government. The most candid, hard-hitting words you will see from any politician on the Hurriyat conference. Here it is, this Big India Today exclusive with General V K Singh. Aftershocks of the Big India Today expose, the Hurriyat truth tapes being felt all the way from the valley to the capital. Joining us now, one of the most outspoken critics of the Hurriyat conference, former Chief of the Indian Army Staff and current Minister in the Narendra Modi government, General V K Singh. General Singh, it's an honor. Thank you so much for your time. General Singh, in this big expose, India Today's investigation team has shown what you've been saying for the longest time, that the Hurriyat is paid money by people in Pakistan, and a lot of the fires that we see in Kashmir are orchestrated. It seems to be a highly mercenary activity.
Rahul, let me compliment you and India Today for this investigation done. I think it has shown what people knew earlier, or some people suspected, or some people did not speak about. And I think it is the right time to expose these people. I've been saying this all along. In fact, I've gone to the extent of saying that when Gilani Saab moves, there is a posse of gundas who moves ahead of him, telling all shops to shut down, and then the camera comes up to say, look, everything is shut down because of Gilani Saab. All orchestrated, all the money coming from Pakistan, all lies being told. And what is the result? Kashmiri youth, Kashmiri people are dying to meet the nefarious, there is no other word to describe it, ambitions of people in Hurriyat. And less said the better about them.
There's been a huge sense of betrayal amongst the average Kashmiri. I've received personally so many calls from people we've met on our various travels. They're saying these are people we had faith in. These are people we looked up to. These are people we thought would lead us. And these are people who've turned out to be crooks, mercenaries and terrorists.
See, the problem is, average Kashmiri, he has got no malice. But all that is fabricated. If you go and tell him 20 times, things go wrong. And ISI has used this character trait. And let me give you an example. Not Kashmir, and I'll take you to Bangladesh. We all know of the type of atrocities Pakistan Army did. Now I'll show you a book sent by ISI. This book has been sent directly by ISI to people in Bangladesh, saying Pakistan Army committed no crime. Hey, you can imagine the type of lies that can be made, and that is what people in Kashmir must understand. In fact, I'll implore you, these are the type of things you should be able to put out to the people in Kashmir and tell them, whom are you following? Why are you jumping into a well? Because these people want to finish you off, so that their children can go to the better schools, they can lead a great life, have houses abroad, or in Srinagar create palaces. They are not for Kashmiris, they are for themselves.
On our cameras, Naeem Khan, the provincial president of the Hurriyat conference, accepts that schools were burnt by him. that they took money from Pakistan, and that all the unrest that happens in the valley happens because
they want it to happen, otherwise it doesn't happen. Is this not terrorism? He may not have picked up a gun himself, but let's look at the case against G.N. Sai Baba, for example. There again, you're funding, motivating, guiding people. Would you think that this constitutes the definition of terrorism?
It is. They are terrorists.
The Hurriyat is terrorists.
Absolutely. We should have branded them as terrorists long time back. Why have we been talking to them? I don't know. Why have we given them importance? We should have checked their accounts long time back. And I don't know what they have given back to this country.
Why do we protect them? There's so much security detail deployed, spending crores of rupees giving them security. If they are such darlings of the valley, they should be safe in their own people.
Problem is, a myth has been created around them. And that myth over a period of time has been bolstered by various shades of political dispensations in Kashmir itself. I think it is high time that bubble was bursted. These people are not for Kashmiris. This is something which Kashmir and its people have to understand. Earlier they shunned them, the better it is. And how can you take money and burn schools? I've had
Kashmiri children study, sir.
Absolutely. See, I'll give you an example. One of our small goodwill schools, which was up to class 8, one of the girls came up to me when I was, this was in 2004, and she said, "Uncle, can't you convert this school into 10th class?" I said, "Why?" She said, "We don't want to go to a government school." Because they were getting education. They were not getting, you know, something which was not contributing towards education. And this is what is being destroyed. ISI realizes it, there's Hurriyat realizes it, that when people get educated, they're going to question them. I think it is the high time people started questioning.
So, yesterday we did a status check on all the top Hurriyat leadership. A couple of them are, like for Masarat Alam is in preventive detention. Most others are in very luxurious house arrest.
They are.
You know, if you're calling them terrorists, General Singh, should they be under house arrest or should they be in places like Tihar jail, locked up for good?
I think the government must take a call on this, and the first one to take a call on this should be the government of J&K. And I would seriously suggest that the Chief Minister J&K takes a call on this.
What do you believe that call should be?
The call should be as per law of the land. That's it. Why should there be a different law of land?
Why should they be in house arrest with air conditioners and lots of servants coming and feeding them badam and milk?
So they must, the PDP government, PDP Chief Minister must take a call on this. She must come out and say that these are actually traitors of Kashmir. They are not Himaitis of Kashmir. And that is something, is a label that is required for them.
So you are saying the PDP government, but the fact is there's also the BJP element in that PDP
that's
government.
That's why I said the government of J&K, the Chief Minister is from PDP, she has to take a call.
Do you think she's been very soft like Omar Abdullah on the Hurriyat so far?
The problem with various shades of political dispensation in Kashmir has been, they use the separatist dialogue or separatist sentiment or something akin to that to create a vote bank. I mean, whether it was Afzal Beg, who used to show a green hanky and the rock of salt, saying that this is Pakistani. Everybody is trying to exploit sentiments. I think one thing which needs to be clearly told, and that was done in 2004. Borders are not going to change. Kashmir has been part of India. It will remain part of India. Nothing is going to change. Earlier the people understand it, the better it is.
But then there are people like Sharad Yadav, the former chief of the JDU. We spoke to him yesterday and he said that your sting operation is Hawabazi, dialogue with the Hurriyat will continue, that this is somehow a BJP conspiracy to tarnish the good image of the Hurriyat conference. This is what Sharad Yadav told us.
I'll not comment on politics people make. I'm giving you clean sentiments which have existed for a very long period of time. Common Kashmiri understands it, and I just want to reiterate it. Kashmir has been part of India, will remain part of India, even the part which is under part occupation of Pakistan. Earlier the people understand it, the better it is. When the Muzaffarabad bus service started, after some time Pakistan started delaying all the permissions that were given to our people. Because when our people came from there, they were disillusioned. They said, what is that part? There is nothing. These people are just showing us, selling us big dreams. There is nothing out there. Our people know it. But at times they get coerced, at times they get bought, at times they get forced. It is not their own will that they...
You will not hear more candid words from anybody in a position of authority. He's saying, ban the Hurriyat. So far, leaders over decades have said the Hurriyat are stakeholders, engage with them in dialogue. Now the India Today expose shows their real face as crooks and terrorists who have nothing but their own best interests in mind, who are taking money from the ISI and burning Kashmir. Joining us on this broadcast, I want to introduce Jaidev Ranade, former senior RAW official. Welcome, sir. With us also on this broadcast is Gauhar Gilani. He's an analyst out of Jammu and Kashmir, tracks the situation in the valley very closely. And Nasir Hussain is a spokesperson of the Congress party. I want to go across to Mr. Ranade first. You just heard General V K Singh saying, ban the Hurriyat. These are terrorists. Don't think of them as peaceful people. Go after them with the full force of the law. Do you believe, on the back of this India Today investigation, the time has come for a real clampdown on the Hurriyat conference?
Well, I hope so. The Hurriyat has been advocating secession for a long time, and I wonder why the relevant laws, anti-sedition laws, have not been enforced. I think that should be done, and I hope that on the back of your expose it will. Secondly, the quantum of money that they have been getting from various sources, and Pakistan is one of them, needs to be investigated. Their lifestyles need to be brought under a microscope, and certainly necessary action needs to be taken. I think that will uncover an entire network which has been feeding the lifestyle of the Hurriyat.
That's a very good point. Why hasn't this been done so far? Nasir Hussain, as a spokesperson of the Congress, when we put out this investigation, people said, ye to hame pata tha. If you knew that these people were fueling the flames of Kashmir, if you knew that they were being paid by Pakistan to burn schools, if you knew that every riot that happens because they wanted to, when your government was in power, why were they not declared terrorists? Why was no action taken? Why have we been dealing with the Hurriyat with such kid gloves all this while?
See, I think when I was hearing your conversation with Mr. Singh, the same reaction was coming on my mind also. As to what is new in what Mr. Singh is saying. The nation is fed up about these presentations on Kashmir. The nation is fed up about what the NDA government and the ministers have been telling about what is happening in Kashmir, why it is happening in Kashmir, who are responsible for what is happening in Kashmir. People are not interested in that. People are interested in action. My point is...
Okay, I will ask the BJP spokesperson this question, Nasir Hussain. Don't try and divert and deflect my question. My question is, what did you do when you were in power? Why did you not do it in all the decades that you were in power? Did you know about this con game that the Hurriyat was playing?
Rahul, please allow me to speak. Please allow me to speak. See, the point is, the present Prime Minister, when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, he went on continuously attacking the then UPA government and the then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh in the same way what you are asking me. The same question were asked to the government at that time. So we lost the election in 2014, and this Prime Minister and this party which has come to power had promised action when they come to power. My point is, what is happening in the last 3 years?
Okay, that's a fair point.
Who has allowed Masrat Alam to go scot-free? The moment the BDP...
Masrat Alam is not scot-free, he's in preventive custody. He's in preventive detention. But you have a few good points, and I've got Gaurav Bhatia now of the BJP who's joining us. Fair point, good point, and I accept that. Gaurav Bhatia, the Congress is saying, forget blaming us. We didn't do anything, we're out of power, let's leave that on the side. You were in opposition. You were criticizing the UPA government for being weak. Now you've been in government for 3 years, you'll be celebrating your 3rd anniversary. Why is Bilal Loan running free? Why are people like Syed Ali Shah Gilani living a 5-star lifestyle in house arrest? Why are they not locked up in Tihar jail? Why are they not being booked under PSA? After this India Today expose, I want to know from you as a spokesperson of the BJP what your government intends to do, Gaurav.
Rahul, let me first clarify that it is not as if the government has not acted, be it the central government or the state government. Masrat Alam, as you correctly pointed out, is under preventive detention. Action was taken against him. There are other people, also anti-social elements or people who are actually acting against the interest of the country, and action is being taken. And let us also understand that this problem of Kashmir has persisted for almost 70 years now, since independence, and we all know which party was in power, and I don't wish to
the Congress, okay, it doesn't matter. Don't give me these platitudes. General V K Singh spoke like a man of action. He spoke with firmness. 1 second.
No, just bear.
He also said, this is my personal view. Will the BJP put pressure on the Mehbooba Mufti government for the Hurriyat to be banned, for these leaders to be declared terrorists and to be treated as terrorists? Jaidev Ranade says, why have we not booked them for treason? Why have we not booked them for sedition? If this is not sedition, then what is?
Yeah, Rahul, I was coming to that, and we all know that Mehbooba Mufti ji met the Honorable Prime Minister and they have been discussing the Kashmir issue. It remains a priority for the central government to solve this issue, and we all know that it is not as simple as what spokespersons from other parties make it out to be, that it's a solution that you put them under house arrest, arrest them. Measures are being taken, but the measures should be such that it solves the problem, it doesn't aggravate the problem, and we all know that this remains a priority. The Honorable Prime Minister himself is looking into the matter. Mehbooba ji has suggested certain measures, and those are being looked into.
No, there's a big problem here. Jaidev Ranade, Mehbooba Mufti says, if we had known that Burhan Wani was encircled by the army, we would have let him go. You know, this is what Mehbooba Mufti said about Burhan Wani. She's not going to believe that Naeem Khan is burning schools in Kashmir. She wasn't prepared to believe that Burhan Wani was a terrorist. For them, these are just misguided youth of Kashmir. They're not terrorists. There's a big problem there. Huge hypocrisy.
Local parties tend to run with the hare and hunt with the hound. I think that's what's happening in Kashmir, regardless of who it is. They don't want to lose votes. They're looking at staying in power, and they're not really concerned about tackling this issue. That's how I look at but the centre has to step in.
Absolutely, that needs to end. Because as VK Singh said in this interview I did with him, never before has such compelling evidence about the complicity of the Hurriyat conference ever been laid in public domain. People like Jaidev Ranade, people in the Intelligence Bureau have said this to me, they've said it to others many times. Never was the evidence out there in their own words, undisputed, incontrovertible evidence. The time for action is now.